Hi, my name is Elliot Harrison. I'm a student from Vista de Lago High School, and I participate in the preceptorship at City of Folsom, Traffic Department, Public Works. Today I'll be talking about dangerous driving and how I believe we can prevent it. How many times have you passed an accident, sirens wailing, police cars surrounding the scene? You can barely make out the destruction created by the collision. Cars either smashed to half their size or flipped like poorly done pancakes, leaving you to think, how could this happen? Later you see the accident on the news. You learn about the driver that caused the accident, whether he was male, female, tall, short, young, old, and if he was under the influence or not following the rules of the road. Many accidents occur because of people who choose to drive dangerously. From minor accidents to fatal ones, there's still an accident. Since 2016, there's been 1,997 accidents, according to police reports. 780 of them have been injury-related and 18 fatal. It averages to about 1.4 accidents a day, all within 30 square miles, mostly occurring on the high-traffic roads of Folsom, Auburn, and East Bidwell. Over 90% of these accidents have been due to dangerous driving. And although the number of fatal accidents is shockingly small, it doesn't change the severity of the issue. Any one of the other accidents could have been fatal if somebody was moving a little bit faster or angled a little bit differently. The question I'm asking you today is, how do we prevent these accidents from occurring in the first place? Some argue for better signage and others for increased police patrol, but that wouldn't, the overall prevention, we want to do very little. The signage accidents accounts for less than 10% of the total, and police officers can't pull people over even if they look, just if they look suspicious and you have an actual reason to. The best way to prevent accidents is to start at the source, the driver. By restricting the driver, we eliminate the necessity of all the extra safety measures in place. Everyone has heard this saying, don't drink and drive. It's a growing cliche that continues to stay relevant because it's true. The moment you put yourself behind the wheel after having alcohol increases the chances of you getting into an accident substantially. Now, I'm not saying the alcohol should be banned, but there are scenarios where there's no need for that person to be driving at all. Just a little bit of initiative can save someone's life. By assigning a designated driver, you guarantee a safe trip home when you get out of the party. And even if friends aren't available, just call an Uber and Lyft. At our school, we have an assembly every 2 years to tell us about the horrible consequences of drinking and driving, called Every 15 Minutes. They take you through a simulation of what drunk driving accident would be like, including a helicopter to take patients away to a hospital, a water jet cutter to rescue passengers out of the vehicle, and even a coroner car to take away the dead bodies. Even continue the illusion by holding a funeral for the ones who died, with their families and friends making speeches for them. Now, as cheesy as it is, it gets the message across. A single death means so much to so many people. And so even when seeing the low chances of fatal accidents, each and every person matters. By ending their life, it gets rid of their future and the people who now have to deal with the pain of not having them around. Another simple yet effective fix is not using your phone when you drive. People are busy, I get that. But no one should be so busy that they need to be communicating with people while they're driving. Even talking on the phone is distracting. If your life is that busy, use Lyft or Uber. Then you can use your phone without restraint while someone else is driving. If you are struggling with having notifications unchecked on your phone, you're just like hypersensitive, just turn your phone on. Now, directions is another case, because not everyone's good at directions, and that's hard to solve. When you don't know where to go, it's necessary to pull out an app to help you navigate. I've done it, you've probably done it, there's no innocent party in that scenario. What I've done in the past, though, is whoever I have with me in the car, I have checked my phone for notifications or for directions, which helps me so I don't have to look at it. And if it's really an important case, I then sometimes have them take the calls for me or send messages for me. Yes, technically I am distracting myself by looking at my passenger, but at least I'm not taking my eyes off the road and keeping my eyes and ears open. However, if I don't have someone else in the car, I just throw my phone in the back. And not necessarily throw as a light toss, but the point is that it's out of sight and out of mind, which is what that accomplishes by throwing it in the back, allowing me, the driver, to focus on the road better than I would be if I had my phone. Then the last method I'll leave you with, which is the hardest of all to follow, is following the rules of the road, or the laws. Just like everything else I've said, it's stupid. But in the case, I'm talking about extreme cases, like going 20 miles over the speed limit, not stopping at stop signs, speeding through lights about to turn red, and yeah. Not following these rules can kill you. Out of all the fatal accidents I've read about at my preceptorship, the majority of them occur because of the stupid decisions of drivers and rarely pedestrians. One of these accidents occurred near the intersection of White Rock Road and Prairie City Road. A driver was going around 90 miles per hour on the wrong side of the road. Why was the person doing this? We don't know because he died. What was he expecting to happen? We don't know that either. Now imagine what the person who he collided with was. They were probably going off to work or headed to an event. They never planned to be killed by someone driving on the wrong side of the road. And this isn't the only case of this happening. Many others make the same stupid decision to not only kill themselves, but other people. I've encountered someone just last week driving on the wrong side of the road, headed towards me. If I didn't honk, I don't know what would have happened, but I don't want to imagine that. But by just using common sense and following what science tells you to do, we can prevent about half the accidents from occurring. What I just mentioned are a few ways of preventing dangerous drivers. In fact, probably the simplest ways, which help themselves and others live longer lives. There are plenty of other options and methods to approach the subject, but these are the ways I believe would be the most effective. Thank you for your time.